that We the People?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And
You're sure?
What device are you on? Are you on a mobile phone?
No, I'm on my laptop computer.
Okay, and you did join up, and you had to put an email address and everything in, and you had to put in a little code, a 4-digit code or something like that to become a member.
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome letter from the We the People group saying welcome to it, and that documents would be posted. I have not found a single document yet.
Oh, they're all there. If not, go into eConcurrent.
Okay.
eConcurrent.com/divine.
Yes.
They should all be there too.
Yes, I see here the parent directory, calls, and everything is in the eConcurrent, but I'm not having any success with Yahoo.
Well, I don't know. You're not signed into Yahoo or something there.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you have Skype?
No.
Do you have Skype on your computer? If you had Skype, put Skype on your computer, and you can call me and share your screen, and I can see what you're doing.
I certainly will do that. Thank you.
Okay.
Go get
my Skype ID
get one of the kids to help you. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. That's what you people need to do is start getting some younger people involved here. There's a bunch of old people on this site, okay? And they're computer illiterate, okay, in a lot of ways. You think you are computer literate, but you're not, okay? From some of the questions that I see people posting and everything else, hey, get somebody else. This information is too valuable not to pass on to the future generations. Get them involved. Show them that basically this monetary system, how messed up it is, and how they can get out of it. We've got the answer here right now. This is the lost 13th tribe. Everything in this nation is based around, in the Republic, around the number 13. And that's standing for the lost tribe, okay? The lost understanding about Republic law banking system. The Babylonian banking system and this trust banking system out of England is all based upon the number 9. Even back in 1730, the East India Company signed a treaty with 8 Indian nations in Delaware called the Treaty of Delaware. There was a fraud, okay, a deceptive fraud. That's why Delaware really stands for Devil's Land or Devilware.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why is that little hunk of land all by itself?
Hey, Patrick.
You divide up New Jersey and Delaware. I mean, what the hell is Delaware? It's not the same thing as Rhode Island up there with Connecticut. Give them a same status as a colony? Come on, people. They set it up and divided it up to try and get 13 again when they set up the Constitution, showing people that this was the lost tribe. This was supposed to be the new Zion. The Hebrews lost their way. The 12 tribes of Hebrew lost their way when they went into the commercial banking system and got into captivity with the Babylonian bankers. $1976. You take the last 2 digits, 76. What do you add up to? 13. You see a bunch of 49s out here. 4 and 9 adds up to 13. You look at the post office address system, Okay, you've got the 9-digit zip code, but you put the IA or the state 2-digit number or letters in front of it, and then you put US behind it. Now you've got 4 letters and 9 numbers. 13. That's in the de jure post office system. Just with that alone, any piece of mail can be delivered to you. You don't need the street address. You don't need the city. Okay, that's an address, and that's a 13-digit address. Because they can go to the state, they can go to the post office in the state, and then the post office box in the state, in that post office. And they know it's in the United States. Pretty simple numeric logic. And then when we operate under the 13 registered mail number or the 13-digit express mail number, we're really operating in the de jure Republic post office system. But everything out here, basically, we stand, when we get into the Republic, we stand by the number 13. You're no longer lost. The number 9 is basically a dead man's number, because when you flip it upside down, you turn it into a 6. And the Babylonian banking system number is 666. Dead man's. And we know that all the corporations are dead men. We know that all the Social Security persons are basically essentially dead men. And basically all the employee accounts are dead man accounts. So really the 9s are really upside down 6s. That's how they've hidden their damn system away from us. The Babylonian banking system under this English trust law system out here, it's the same thing that was back in Daniel's time, back in Moses' time, back in Jesus' time, back in Abraham's time. The dead man's banking system.
I got a quick question for you. I'm on time schedule. I have a court hearing tomorrow, and I know that the non-UCC was filed into the court case. How are they still holding the proceedings tomorrow?
I told you to go into court, and basically you invoke the laws of the Republic.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. You do that, and then shut up. Say no more. Say, I am not contracting into this fraudulent commercial banking system. You get me a Republic judge here. You can't proceed any further because I'm standing in the Republic law system. They go against you, and basically they're in violation of the 14th Amendment. I do not consent to servitude. I'm protected by the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments. I'm standing in the Republic under the protection of the law of 13. Mull that over in your mind, and then see what you want to say in the court.
Okay.
Then get the word out to somebody that basically that they are in violation of the law of 13 in this country. The Republic laws of 13. Tell them you're the eagle standing in the shield of the justice system in this country. That you're under the 13 arrows, the 13 stars, and 13 olive leaves. You're not the 9 tail feathers.
Thank you, Patrick.
Okay. People have already gone into court and basically invoked the laws of the Republic. And they have to shut it down because basically they're in there in a fraudulent capacity. They're in there in a commercial, devil-worshipping capacity. The Babylonian banking system. But when you get out, then basically you need to get this process, but you have to understand why you have the powers. And you can say, I'm invoking the Republic laws per Article 4, Section 4 of the Constitution. I have the right to invoke the Republic laws. And also the biblical laws. Because the Constitution was founded upon the Bible. And it was really founded upon the biblical laws of the lost tribe of the Hebrews. Because they fell out and got into the commercial banking system. And these sections that I posted up there out of Volume 1, 5th Congress, Section 2, Chapter 49 and 50, okay? They were implemented after they set up the first national foreign bank in this country under Biddle. It was an English bank controlled by the Rothschilds, Babylonian bank. And that's what all of this is about. It's about banking. Just banking or unjust banking. A man is worth his labor or basically he is screwed. And the bankers try and use it for their benefits. Every one of these commercial banks out here ought to be shut down entirely. They're parasites on the whole community. But there's only one way you can shut them down, and that is to bring about these GSA forms. The SF-30, you can modify these commercial contracts. You're not supposed to be the surety on any of these commercial contracts. And that's what basically the GSA, or the GSA, SF-30 form is all about. It's about solicitation or modification of the contract. And the courts and everything are trying to do a solicitation against your contract, whether it's your Social Security account, whether it's your driver's license account, whatever. You have to find out what account they are charging in that court system. And then they're trying to claim a $100,000 bounty against that account. Your utility bills, you can modify those contracts. I told you a couple weeks ago, I went into, basically was talking to, what the hell was it? Well, it was after I gave my damn documents up to the county attorney and basically tried to have my payments for my traffic tickets restored to me, but I didn't have all quite forms filled out. But I went down to the county commissioners meeting and Waste Management was there trying to renegotiate their contract with the county. And I said, hey, are you a contractor? Do you have, are you required to have a performance and a payment bond? Said yes. See, all these utility companies that are operating here with the state, they all have to have a commercial contract, which is a contract trust under your account number that has a payment and a performance bond. The payments you make do not go to pay the bill. They go into a dead man's account. They are using that as collateral to write the performance bonds out there that are paying the bill. That's why you have to pay taxes. You're paying a tax on a dead man's account. You have to understand how this system really works. And basically when we found the SF-30, the SF-1414, the SF-1416, which is the payment bond, and then the SF-1418, which is the payment bond, or the performance bond. And see, you can modify those and have payments. Say, hey, I'm modifying this contract. I want a monthly payment out of the payment bond returned to me on a monthly basis. Same thing with the Social Security account. You've got a dead man's account sitting there with a payment bond attached to it. You've got a performance bond sitting there too. And basically the Social Security Inspector General knows that I know something about this because a year ago, and I didn't have all this information a year ago, but basically I knew that there was fraud in the process. And I was close enough that basically he jumped right on it and got the damn payments over to me right away. It would have been in 3 days, except basically they screwed up my Direct Express account number, so it took about a week longer. After we got that straightened out. But yeah, see, and when did the GSA forms start coming about? Or when did the GSA system go into effect? 1949. 49. Another 13 staring you right in the face. It showed you the remedy right there. I don't know whether I'm blessed or not. I was born in 49. My great-great-grandfather became a citizen of this country in 1849. Also, my name, my full name of just Patrick Devine, adds up to 13. I have no problem in using 13 as a hammer. Is what the Hebrews, when they lost their way. I'll reiterate that. That is when the people lose their way in the monetary system. They have fallen away from the protections of the law of 13. And that's what's happened in this country. Why did they just go with 13 colonies? Why didn't they do it with when they ran into a little bit of problem? Why did they have to wait until they got 13 signers? Why didn't they go with 14? There was a couple others that wanted to join in. I think Florida would have gone in. But no, they had to do it with 13 to make a point in the process. Their actions were not done by it was planned out. And see, everybody goes around with that 1776. Oh, that's when Weisfault or whatever basically came about and started the aluminum. So they badmouth everything about 1776, taking away the power of the Declaration of Independence, because what was the Declaration of Independence about?
Thank you.
Franklin went over to England, and basically they questioned him about using the continental dollars here in America. They did not have inflation or anything like that, unemployment, using the continental dollars, because that was just a just dollar, a lawful dollar. It had no usury associated with it. So the people, when they paid a dollar, they paid a dollar. They weren't getting screwed over by the banks of paying for something and then basically having the banks take so much of it away from it, and then you didn't have the full funds to make the payment the next time, because the banks had sucked so much away from it. And see, that's what the East India Company basically was controlling, the monetary system in this country. And that's really what the Declaration of Independence was about, was to break away from the East India Company banking system that was ruling over all the colonies and controlled out of England by the king and by the bankers in London town there, the Rothschilds. That's what the Declaration of Independence was all about, declaring freedom from the unjust banking system. There's so much hidden stuff out here about, well, the Secretary of Treasury, he's working for the IMF. He's over here. Hey, he's still working, has the title of the lawful office in this country. We just have to invoke him to be into the republic of the country. He has to take off the other hat. The same thing with the Article 3 judges. You have to invoke the laws of the republic to get them to take their hats off, their fraudulent commercial banking hats, and put on the de jure banking hat. No female judge can be in a republic court, the most powerful word in the English language, because you are calling upon something higher, a law that was previous. Your founding fathers, your ancients, you're bringing them back to life. You're not operating in the dead world anymore. I've told you before that basically the number of man is 12. But when you add the spirit of understanding and knowledge into the process, you now have 13. You are fully awake. And that's really what's going on. When you were supposed to come of age, at 21, you were supposed to be standing in the power of 13. But one other thing, you have to invoke the Republic laws before you can revoke the unjust usury banking laws. You have to show your authority in the process. Why do you have the authority to do a revoking? Because I have called upon the higher law, and then basically the higher law now revokes this fraudulent or lower law. You people need to practice on this. You need to understand this. Because just because you turn around and do some of these documents that I'm trying to put up here to get out of the system, if you don't understand and know how to protect yourself when you come out of the system, you're going to be far worse off than if you were just to stay where you were right now.
And to block, you have to know so much more than you know. I know trickery. Here's the thing.
This is all basically out here. Okay? Women now have to understand that basically they were not to be out front here. The Babylonian banking system, the Credits banking system, like the Queen of Sheba, and basically like, what the hell was her name down there in Egypt, that took over? The Queen of England. Yeah. And you want Hillary in the damn White House. Yeah, put a woman in there. Right. No, that ain't right. Women don't have the right to vote. It was supposed to be a family vote anyway. A family unit. An estate vote. A man's estate vote in the elections. And a woman was always supposed to be under the protection of a man, because a woman is always a debtor, no matter what. She's a debtor to the man's estate, whether it be her father, whether it be her dead father, whether it be her husband or her dead husband. Get over it. You want to be protected? Then operate with the real laws of protection. And if your man won't get off his ass and do this, then basically revert back to your father and get the hell away from that guy. You stand by the book of Ruth. And there's numerous other places in the Bible that call this out too. The Bible, I've told you before, is all about just and unjust banking. That's all it is. It's not about this stinking religion. And see, this commercial foreign banking system basically got you into a false of something out here, and that is a new religion. That's in violation of Article 1. Or the First Amendment, I mean. Yeah, and the commercial bankers have also violated a whole bunch of shit in Article 1, too. Delaware, back to it. Devil's Land, or Delhi Land. Basically, where all of the vast majority of the commercial corporations incorporated out of. Delaware. devil's land. Basically all tied back to that 1730 Treaty of Delaware. The Devil's Treaty. The East India Company. I get a kick out of, I went in to try and find some information about the Lost 13th Tribe. And all you get is all these damn religious leaders going on about, well, it's over here, it's over here. The Jewish cosmonauts or whatever the hell over here, they claim that they're the Lost Tribe. They have no idea about banking, period. All these preachers. They don't want to talk about that, and yet that is what everything is founded upon. And then the bankers or the ministers always have their hand in your back pocket anyway. They're no better off than most all the teachers out here, most all the quack doctors, the lawyers. All these guys are trying to get in your back pocket. They don't want to go out and till the land. They want to be like Abel, sitting on their ass, watching the cattle graze, and then pushing them off the market when the futures go up. Where Cain basically tilled the land to bring the fruits and everything up out of the soil, he did manual labor to get his reward. But then he wasn't rewarded by that because basically all the credit was going over to that fraudulent Abel. The tree of knowledge that Adam and Eve ate off of was not the tree of knowledge. It was the tree of usury, the knowledge of usury. And they used Cain to their benefit. That's why they lost favor with God. And were cast out. It's all right there. I mean, basically, I don't know how more it can be pointed out to people, and they totally miss the big picture. Just like all these 13s out here. They keep cropping up in key areas. The Expatriation Act, Chapter 249, 4 and 9, 13. And back to that first volume of the Statutes at Large, 5th Congress, Session 2, Chapter 49. What comes after 49? 50. What's 50? Jubilee. Read what it says about Chapter 50. It's a jubilee for the debtor. And they put it right in there. They passed it right the same day. Why couldn't they have put it all into 49? That's a good question because they're both passed on the same day. Because they wanted to use 50 also, showing the Jubilee.
Is that
how do you get to the number 49? You get 7 sevens. A contract lifetime was only supposed to be for 7 years. 7 sevens was basically the max that a contract was supposed to be able to be utilized. 49. That's why it was called out in the Bible. Full 10 years, or full 10 sevens of 70 years was brought out by Daniel about the captivity of the Hebrews when they went into Babylon, but then before the 70 years was up, basically the Medes Persians took over, and basically Daniel went to the Medes Persians and said, hey, the 70-year indentured contract of servitude has been fulfilled. And the Medes Persians allowed the Hebrews to go back home if they wanted to. The gates were swung open. These things are all in the Bible if people would look at them for what they really are instead of listening to all these Babylonian fraudulent ministers and everything out here that don't know a stinking thing about the Bible. Oh, who begot who? Who fucked who yesterday? Who's got this child down here? Who's got this one over here? Lineage. They go off on this damn tangent, and basically then they spread out more hate. That's the only thing that these guys can operate, is they are a hate-mongering group, all these ministers. Ours is right. They're wrong. They're all wrong. Because they don't understand it's all about banking, just labor, and unjust exchangement. Now, I posted up several documents up there. The SF-30, I did a modification on it, basically put in there how this is supposed to be processed. You do a package when you send in, like your birth certificate, when you send in your Social Security account, when you send in your driver's license. You need to send in more than just one, okay? You've got to send in basically your key ones that are keeping you held down. For a man, it should, if he had military service, he should have his DD-214. He should have his Social Security account. He should have his certificate of live birth account. He should have his driver's license. He should have his mortgage. He should have his vehicle titles. Anything that basically is going to cause you any harm, get them all out there in the package. Show them that you know that these other things are contracts that are holding you down too. Your checking accounts, your savings accounts, your passport, your voter ID card. Look at them. Check and see about the 9-digit numbers on them. Any post office that you had out here over your lifetime under the 9-digit system, in the postal system, basically the post office was using that as an account. How many credits were assigned to that post office when you took that 9-digit number? We don't know. The bank account, basically, they started off basically putting, from what I can see, at least $250,000 of credit into the payment bond. And then all of your deposits went in there too, into the payment bond. But all of your checks that were written out of that bank account came out of the performance bonds. After 10 years, you have essentially abandoned that bank account if you closed it down. Everybody thought that Jesse James was one of the king bank robbers in the country. No. The Bush cartel family is the biggest bank robbers in this country, along with J.P. Morgan and a few others out here in the process. So when Lincoln Savings and Loan and Silverado Savings and Loan went under, basically all the payment bonds were absorbed by the bankers, by the Bushes. Why the FBI hasn't come down on it, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
But they are nothing but a rogue outfit of bank robbers. Most all the presidents we've had basically have been swindlers or bank robbers out here over the last 50, 60 years. Ever since they killed Kennedy. All we've gotten is bank robbers since that point in time. Or shells working for the bank robbers. Reagan was just a patsy. But look at the background of all these guys. They all had banking or lawyer, a bar license in their background. I posted up the cover letter that I am sending in to the Secretary of the Treasury. We're going to Lou, okay? He's got dual nationality. He's supposed to be a citizen of Israel also, from what we're told. He has basically dual job titles. He's working for the IMF. He's also working for the Republic banking system in this country if you invoke the Republic. All these contracts we have, we are the guarantor over those contracts. And that means that we are guaranteeing the funds in the Republic. But they're using them in their commercial banking system. Only we, the people, can give the full faith and credit to the country because the government employs subservient government employees that are supposed to be working for us because we're the owners out here, not the other way around. The government don't own shit. The government does not have the right to enforce a fraudulent law upon a person that's standing in the Republic. Jesus pointed that out numerous times in his parables about the good servant and the bad servants. It was all about banking when he was talking about the servants. Even the payment of the labor in the grapevine scenario, to where he went to the market and hired people to work in the vineyard. The people hired out for a certain amount. Now they want to come back and renegotiate at the end of the day because somebody else was getting something a little more than they were for less labor. You were just a piss poor negotiator when you started. Ooh. He was trying to show people how the money system basically can screw you over. And how in some cases you have to live with the consequences when you go into a contract. But he also showed you the way and the path to come out and get out of the fraudulent contracts. That's all he did. And like I said, the word Christ out there came about in the Roman time frame, not in the Greeks, not in the Medes Persians, not in the Babylonian. Why? Because the laws were cast in stone in Moses' time. The laws were then cast in gold in the Babylonian time frame. Then in the Medes Persians, it was cast in silver. Then in the Greek period, it was cast in copper or bronze. In the Roman time, it was cast in iron. That's what Christ really stands for, cast in iron. And see, that's what Jesus was doing. He was standing in the republic laws. In the Babylonian period, the republic laws were the laws cast in gold. In Moses' time, the laws that were cast for the republic were in stone. In our time, the laws for our time frame here in America is the laws cast by the amendments and by the Constitutional Republic Banking Charter. And all of the associated statutes at large that stand for the Republic laws. Not for the corporations, but for the Republic laws, protections against the contractors, against the commercial world or the corporate world. Don't reference them. You reference the codes of law, and basically, you will basically go down with them. You invoke the laws of the Republic, the Constitutional Republic banking charters, not the commercial banking charters that they have out here. Under the United States Corporation Company, of which all the states of are tied back to the United States Corporation Company. Okay, go ahead and open it up, Tom. Any questions? But read those documents over. You need to understand those before you go out and try and do any of this stuff. Please. Because they will definitely be talking to you. I'm sure that they know me pretty well. Basically, they've been monitoring everything that I've been saying. So they know what I know now in the process. But if you don't understand and have the right understanding of it, basically, then you could be getting yourself into trouble. And like I said before, you need to get this out to your children, younger people. Also, get them to help. Say, hey, you want to know how to set off your mortgage? I can help you. Sit down here and work with me a little. I'm not good at the computer, but basically, I have some of it. I've been listening to this guy, and basically this guy has the right track on what's going on here. Your mortgage is already paid for after 3 years. You just got to get it processed out. You already gave them the credits to buy the house to begin with.
I can hear you.
Now just return the credits back to the Treasury. Allow the Treasury to siphon off the tariff taxes or the fraudulent usage of this foreign banking system, and then
don't know, and
all of the lawful credits back to you. It's a three-part deal. Everything operates in threes. But our protection is under 13. The power of 13. That's why these bankers and everything, they hate the 13th floor.
Patrick, did you put these documents up on e-concurrent also?
Trump posted them up on e-concurrent, supposedly.
Tom, you need to mute somebody.
What type of trouble do you think we can get into if we're not careful once we come out?
You'll contract right back into them.
Okay.
That's the problem. If you don't understand how the banking system fully functions, they will be able to trick you back into contracting with them.
Like, do you think the Treasury is going to try to trick us back in, or do you think they'll stay in on?
No, I think that local fucking county attorney will probably try and trick you back into the system, too.
Okay.
The cops, basically, they're all operating under the DUNS number. They're out there basically advertised for these commercial people by having a sticker on your car saying, hey, I bought this from Joe Blow's Ford dealership down the road here. That's a commercial advertisement. That means your vehicle is operating in the commercial world. It's a red flag for a cop to look at that. He's got this commercial sticker over here on the side of his car saying that he is.
So the tailgate on my pickup says Chevrolet in pretty big letters going across the back, but it was put on there from the
not
back.
Chevrolet. Okay? That is not the advertisement. The advertisement is where you bought the vehicle from. Chevrolet is just a model of the car. But if you want to take it off, take it off. I'm talking about the little sticker that all these car dealerships put on your vehicle. You go and buy a car, and basically you get the warranty on the car. You don't want any warranties. You revoke it.
I'll get it.
You take a 30-day lemon deal that if the thing breaks down within 30 days, you have the right to return it. After that, I own the vehicle, and I will pay all the expenses for that vehicle. See, that's the trickery. Ford Motor Company basically keeps you under a contract, under a warranty. Now look at all these damn insurance policies that you get through the mail.
Okay. I'm good to go.
It's all fraud.
So, Pastor, are you saying that if we wanted to, we can go down and get a vehicle and don't accept anything that they're trying to offer us? Okay.
When you get out of the system, okay, and you start operating under the just banking system, now you're going to have more funds than you know what to do with. You have the right to borrow from the treasury on your own terms, okay? You have the right to make a profit. You basically try and get paid in cash, okay? You don't take checks. Say, no, I want cash. See, that's what I mean. You have to know what you really, how to protect yourself when you come out of the system. You don't get into their commercial paper system.
Everybody mute your phone.
That's the problem that most people have, okay? They're afraid to let go of something. Well, if you've got the funds to turn around and buy another vehicle sitting in your back pocket, and your vehicle breaks down, shit, you just go and buy another one. Sell that one for scrap metal, whatever. Find some other commercial sucker that'll buy it off you. You guys really ain't quite ready to operate out here in the real banking system, because you've been inundated with all this commercial stuff out here. You don't understand. You've got to get rid of all items when you come out. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out.
Can you give us a bibliography to read?
I don't think there is any stuff out there unless you read what is really Daniel or Jesus basically said about the banking system, Moses. None of these other guys out here have any of this shit down right.
Not even Blake.
Huh?
Oh, that's funny.
What was that? I didn't hear what you said there before.
He was referring to some guru that supposedly that some of us know about. He was making a point on him.
Yes, see, that's the thing. Nobody out here has ever talked about the Republic laws or the Law of 13 to see how all these numbers are hidden right in plain sight. Why did these things take place at that point in time? Why didn't it happen? Why didn't we go in? Basically, they were working on the Declaration of Independence for several years before 1776. Why did it have to be done in the middle of the year in 1776? Why are there so many 49s out here? Why are there 3 13s in the Great Seal? Not to mention the feathers on the wings of the eagles. And where the 9 tail feathers are at the bottom of the eagle.
Brother, I don't know how you came up with this concept, but it's amazing.
Well, it's sitting right there looking at you, and basically all you have to do is start looking at these things. Why 13? Why? Ask the question why. And to see, that's what we were told to do, was to read the Bible as a little child. And a little child asked the question, why? Why is it done this way? If you don't ask the question why, you'll never get the answer. And I kept asking the question in my mind and in my soul to try and find what the answer really was.
So,
and then I started seeing the process of the puzzle sitting right there in front of us, of all the different statutes that I was looking at, the key ones, and saying, hey, when somebody out there is bad-mouthing some person in some regards, basically they're being bad-mouthed too damn much, then basically something's wrong here. Because if they were being bad-mouthed that much, why aren't they in jail?
Patrick, on the transfer by deed, with because I put both myself and my wife on here with the to go into.
If basically you place her under your estate control, yes.
I use my estate EIN for her, and I use my farm.
You basically claim that you are the Republic state owner, and that basically per your marriage, she is now indebted to you in the process. You can add more to this, okay?
Okay.
I don't have a wife right now, okay? About her being under my control when I put my document in. Okay?
Okay, very good.
Just look at it as an estate and operate it as such, a Republic estate. That she is basically part of your estate, like all your children would be part of your estate. And that you're the protector, you're the guardian over them. Use those words. I am her protector.
Excellent.
Okay?
She goes on. You would put her on the.
You might go over the documents that Tom put up today on on Patsy Divine, on the Divine website?
What's that?
Do you mind going over the documents that was actually put up on the Divine document yesterday or today?
I don't know. Let's see. What did I post up there? Or had Tom post? I posted up a copy of my Voters SF-30 UCC Contract Trust Fugitive SF-30, rewritten to use that phrase in section the write-up block. I did my letter of credit transfer by deed to the Secretary of the Treasury. I did a transfer deed endorsement template. I did a transfer of Treasury credits by deed example, Rev 2. I revoke the Republic laws of 13. I did there is no debtor prisons in America document, which has both chapter 49 and 50 in it, highlighted. I posted a new badge that I made up to where it says United States Republic, Executive Owner, Bounty Hunter, Private Attorney General, and then with the seal of the nation, and then underneath that, Republic Laws of 13, and then basically my birthing date, the date that I was born. Now, you could have basically used the DERTH date, which should be roughly 90 days, 3 months after the date you were born, because that's your 1-year anniversary. And that's when basically you were supposed to be able, as a prince, were supposed to be able to put a claim against your inheritance. I also put a document up there for the DUNS number.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hey, excuse me, Patrick, did you ever have any resolve with the Ford Motor Corporation with the truck?
No, never heard anything back from that when I sent that in. But see, I've got to get this other straightened out first. See, I was trying to go through the UCC Contract Trust Department in that process. Until we get this other with the Republic straightened out with the Secretary of Treasury, they ain't going to process anything we want the other way.
Patrick, question. My question to you is, since a lot of my documents burned up in the van, I only got 2 of them, my birth certificate and the Social Security card. Can I just start with those and go on and get the rest, or should I make reference to the others? Because I do have the numbers.
If you've got the numbers for the others, make reference to them in your document.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That is it.
Okay.
I will do that. Thank you. Muting myself out.
Anybody else?
Do you mind going over again about the mortgages, exactly what we need to do with the mortgages again?
Yes.
You can either go right straight to the bank, or you can basically turn around and send them in to the Secretary of the Treasury with to the SF-30s for all of these documents, your certificate of live birth, your Social Security account. You do the SF-30. You're modifying the contract. You basically put in your SF-1414, showing that you are basically the owner over that surety person that's on those contracts. You do the performance and the payment bond also. And on those, in the value, you can just write in full liquidation. You handwrite it in there in blue. But if you're going to turn around and, like with the utility company, until you totally get out of the system, you can basically say, hey, I've got this contract with the utility company. It's not shut down yet. Basically, you can modify the contract and say that your payment is to be taken out of the performance bond that they're holding. And then on the performance bond, the SF-1418, you put down the monthly payment that should be taken out of that performance bond to pay the monthly payment bill. Pretty simple. And then you send that back in to the attention of the chief financial officer of that utility company. Send it back to them by certified mail under green card. Or basically, better yet, send it back by registered mail or express mail. Hell, to pay $20 for express mail or $22, whatever, to have a $300 utility bill set off for the next year, every month, that's a pretty good deal. $20 for and then basically if you do the express mail, make sure you mark on there that a signature is required. You as the customer have to mark that box. And it's right below where you put your address at the top on that label. Read the damn documents. That's the key problem in this country. Nobody reads the instructions. They want everybody else to tell them how to do the things. And they don't want to read and comprehend. And unless you can do that, you will never have the full understanding about how to protect yourself out in the system. Nobody ever read their contracts with the banks when they set the damn things up. Nobody ever read the insurance contracts because there was so goddamn much garbage there. People should have just turned around and thrown that back at them and said, this is bullshit. That's why when you go in, basically like to get a vehicle, you revoke all the warranties. You don't even take the dealership, have the dealership put a tag on your vehicle for 30 days to operate the vehicle without a license. You buy it in your private bank account under your private banker's EIN number. Or your individual banker's EIN number, but he is an employee and he's a non-taxable employee of your private bank.
So in other words, we need an estate number and 2 EINs. We need a foreign grantor's trust, and we also
You
need
should have an estate number over all your accounts.
I got to be careful. I got the other two.
Like I said before, everything operates in threes.
666. 3 nines upside down is 666. The mark of the beast, okay?
Yeah, but see, that's in their system. They have to operate by threes too. But see, in the Republic system, we're operating under 4. Right in the Constitution. Article 1, the legislature. Article 2, the executive branch. Article 3, the judicial branch. Article 4, the we the people, power and authority that we have over the government. Only we can authorize the credits to be transferred over to the government for their beneficial usage. Congress can't. They can basically borrow credits, but they cannot transfer credits. Only we, the people, can transfer credits after we borrow them. And that's what's gotten us into trouble. We basically borrowed the credits by our signature, but then we transferred our credits over to a fictional person into the commercial world. Only we can transfer credits. But we also have the right to bring those credits home. Under the Expatriation Act 249. Okay, anybody else have any questions?
Yeah, Patrick, I was just wanting to know, can you give me the website so I can go look at the sample forms that you have up there?
We the people, all one word, underscore, shareholders, with an S on the end of it. And that's a Yahoo group.
Thank you.
So you've got to sign up with yahoo.com. Then you go into there, and then you search for groups when you get to Yahoo. And then basically you find the group there. Then you have to sign up to become a member of that group. The other place is eConcurrent, eConcurrent.com/divine. And there's no membership with that. And then basically you look at the folders, and basically the higher number in the folder basically is the latest documents. The phone calls are all there, basically, and they're by date of the phone call, and you can listen to them. There's a couple extras there that basically cover other topics, specialty topics. But there's examples in all those documents. This isn't an overnight turnkey when you get into this as a new member. You've got a little catching up to do. It may take you a month of study in the process, unless you work with somebody else. Sit down at a round table, a study hall table, and go over this with other people. That's what I'm saying. You need to branch out a little more instead of trying to do something else, writing procedures. I had to do my own research. for writing test procedures and everything, maintenance procedures. But I knew where to look for some documents that had already previously been written at other power plants.
Patrick?
Yes.
A question. I just got a call.
Speak up a little.
I just got a call yesterday from a friend, husband, who said that she was picked up by the FBI and extradited back to New Mexico, and for a warrant that was existing. How can I do? What kind of research can I do on that to kind of hopefully alleviate that situation and get her out and not with her?
No, you've got to get yourself out first, okay?
Okay. You
can't be trying to help somebody else if you haven't helped yourself first, okay? You can give them the information to study on their own. Why was she picked up by the FBI?
It was an outstanding warrant.
For what?
Having to do with contempt of court.
All she has to do is invoke the laws of the Republic. What was her court charge to begin with?
I'm not too clear on that, but I will. First of all, like you said, I'm in the motion right now to get myself out. But
but basically all she needs to have basically is that she has to know. See, they're taking her into a commercial court.
Right.
Okay? She's got to invoke the laws of the Republic. Hey, okay. I am not a fictional person. I invoke the laws of the Republic. What law did I break? What Republic law did I break? How did I get into finding out about Chapter 49 in the first volume of Statutes at Large? 5th Congress, Session 2, Chapter 49. How did I find it? I found it by going and doing a word search for insolvency. One of the key things in all these courts is that you are insolvent. Your credits and everything that you borrowed are not in your hands. You're insolvent. One judge tried to get one guy that was up on traffic tickets to say that he was insolvent. The judge asked him 3 times, "Are you insolvent?" All the guy had to say was yes, and the judge would have settled the matter for him from the contract. Because we are, basically, in this Babylonian banking system, we are insolvent. All of our credits and everything is over in the hands of our fictional person that is being held under the power of the contractor. And see, that was partly what was addressed in title for that Chapter 49. It's the debtor that has to return the credits.
Why don't you put your car in the garage? We're moving trailers out the way.
And see, it even says that basically these credits are being held in a trust. They got the word right there, and then they have the word deed in that document. So all we have to do is basically have our fictional person, we're in control of him, he is now the grantor. He is going to grant those back to us. We're the guarantor, and then we basically turn around and transfer all those contracts over to the temple priest or the treasury to have them brokered, just like in Moses' time. We're going to give over our bulls and goats to the temple to have them adjudicated. And see, that's what basically the Hebrews got away from, because they also set up the damn Jezebel temple system. And everybody started flocking to the Jezebel temple instead of going to the de jure temple. See, Daniel stayed in the de jure temple. Jesus tried to throw out the money changers and everything out of the de jure temple that the Jezebels had infiltrated. And that's the same thing we've got here today. The Jezebel commercial bankers have infiltrated our courthouses, our republic banking houses, our just temples. So you have to invoke the laws of the republic to take back that temple process. And then you use your SF30s and 14, 14, 14, 16, 14, 18 forms, and basically sign those deeds over to them. Say, here, I'm ordering the liquidation of these.
Hey, Spencer.
Hey.
Hi, Patrick. Yeah, this is Robbie. I just want to let you know I was on the call last week, and you weren't on there. I hope you're doing better today, this week. And but anyways, I just want to let you know I did send off my 30 and all the 14s with my cover letter and to one of my bills. It was an electricity bill. I was due for a shut-off this Monday, and I called them Friday. I mailed them off by the 31st, which I got the new ones. But I used the old ones for the 31st, and then I called them last week, I think on the, I forgot what. Anyways, I called them last week on the 9th or 10th or 11th, somewhere around there. It was the 10th or 11th, to see if they had got them. They had received them. And what happened was that, the guy, I told him, I need to speak with your supervisor because they had received some letters, some information for me. And he said, well, he didn't know. I said, well, let me speak to your supervisor. And so he put me on hold. Obviously, they had got the paperwork. And then he got back on the phone, and I said, well, are you going to put your supervisor on? He said, oh, no, I just want to inform you that we're going to pay your past due bill and you won't get your electricity shut off. So it does work. It takes time, and I just followed the steps. But once again, I had to do the research. I had several people wanting to contact me, but I gave them the same steps that you do. You can't do anything for people, but you got to do it for yourself. And they wanted to do some roundtables, which I don't really have time to do. But the thing about it is that it works. I used it. It works. It takes time. You have to research. You have to study. And you have to stay on these people and call them back and tell them, okay, I know you received this because according to this, the certificate, the certification you know, because I mailed them out certified. I said, you received it on such and such date. Now I got to call the other people back about a credit card tomorrow. They got the stuff, and they said, well, our legal department is handling it. It takes them 5 to 7 business days. I said, you were supposed to take care of this yesterday. It's not done. And I said, I'm just going to, out of courtesy, extend you to Friday. I will call you back Monday. Or either you call me back Monday with a remedy. Yes, ma'am, we're working on this as fast, as quickly as we can. Because I told them, if you don't, the IRS, the CID, or the Secret Service will be contacting your corporation. So they're working on it. So we'll see. Hopefully I have another one out tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
basically that's the thing. As soon as you get these GSA forms, okay,
yeah.
the SF-30s, and basically get them filled out, and they're not that hard. The instructions on them are pretty self-explanatory.
Yes.
And when you understand basically what I've been talking about the contracts
yes.
out here, basically there's information about construction contracts. And see, these are set up pretty much the same way as a construction contract for a contractor to build a house. And that's all that they are. They're just a construction contract, but a modified construction contract, and you are the owner. And you have to come in the owner's capacity to direct that contractor what he has to do. And see, that's what nobody has been telling them, what they have to do. Where is the payment to come from? And the payments to come from the surety bonds that are sitting there, which is the performance bonds.
Okay. Well, I didn't get the opportunity because I got the information afterwards, but I did go to court, and they did receive, I gave them payment bond, and then I told the judge, you know, that they had received information. He said he didn't receive it, but I sent it to the clerk of the court instead of the solicitor and the judge. So they claim they didn't see it, but it is on file there. They can just look it up if they choose to, but they wouldn't. And so he's entered a plea because I wouldn't enter one. And I should have said innocent, but I didn't enter a plea at all. And so they sent me another letter stating that I wouldn't sign anything. And they sent me a letter stating that I had to go to another court for the license, not having a license. But now I know that when I get back there, he asked me, the prosecuting attorney called me. The judge was very angry because I told him, asked him, was his court higher than the Supreme Court ruling? And I gave him the Supreme Court ruling that you don't have to have license. And there was 6 different cases that they had ruled on, and he would not answer. He would not address that at all. He was very, very angry with me, and he wanted to step out and leave until he said, I'll be right back. I said, no, you're going to stay right here until we're done. So by then, it was 4 deputies in the room. 2 of them went on the other side, and one of them stood right in front of the door, the little gate area to walk in and out of the court area. And so he stepped back there, and I turned around and walked from the judge. And I said, well, you're going to be done here. I'm not doing anything. I'm not signing anything, so we're done. And so he proceeded on to say that if you don't come back to court on such and so date, that they will put out a bench warrant out for your arrest. And the deputy said, ma'am, the judge is talking to you. I turned around and told the judge, I said, you're done. You are finished. Do you understand? And I walked out and told the deputy to step aside. He looked at me and stepped aside, and everybody in the court, including the attorneys, was looking at me like I was crazy, like, who the hell is she? And the judge told me, he said, who do you think you are? We've been doing this for over 50 years. Who do you think you are that you can come in here and just ask for this to be dismissed and not pay? I said, I'm somebody who got enough guts. It took me 55 years to get enough guts to stand up to you. That's who I am. So he was pissed off at me, to say the least. But now, when I go back in there, I will invoke the Republic law, and I'll make sure that I have all my information correctly and do some more studying on that. So I will.
Well, basically, when you go into court, you invoke the laws of the Republic. But basically, you also ask them, do you have a bar license? See, under the Republic, that judge, that prosecutor, cannot have a bar license.
Correct.
Because they're under the laws of the Republic, they're in violation of Article 1, Section 10.
Okay.
See, that's what I mean. People need to understand what is in the Constitution.
Yes, sir.
Okay? You don't reference Supreme Court cases or anything like that.
Okay.
You've got to stand by the Republic. You've got to stand by the power of the 13s.
Okay.
See, they were going to try and charge me when I went into a bankruptcy court with threatening the judge, female judge.
Yes.
But when I referenced the eagle over the shield of the Justice Department, that I was the eagle, basically right then and there, everything took a turnabout. They had no jurisdiction any longer.
Okay. Okay.
And see, I didn't know that at the time. That was over 3 years ago that I did that. But now I know the power of the 13s.
Okay.
And the power of being in the Republic system.
Okay.
Because almost 99% of all these court cases, you haven't violated any Republic laws. It's all commercial laws.
Right.
And basically, these are all under a commercial contract, and basically the performance bond is supposed to be paying for all these charges. Your driver's license, you gave a signature, an autograph, and then basically the credits that you released from the Treasury for that driver's license were put into a payment bond that was the collateral for the performance bond. See, that's the kicker. The credits are still sitting there. They haven't used the credits, but we transfer the credits to the payment bond, and it's under, it has to, it's a, like you are a landowner and you're leasing your property out. You're transferring that property over to a tenant to basically rent that property from you, but he is going to basically raise a crop, which is the performance bond on the property. He has to pay you so much rent back, and then anything else that possibly might come up, okay?
Okay.
If he's got cattle or something like that, he's going to have to be the one to fix the fence, not you. See, there's little kickers in this damn process when you understand how basically simple contracts work. And that's why I tried to use the example of a housing contract, that you're the owner of that, and basically if the contractor does not fulfill his obligations, then you have the right to terminate that contractor. And see, in most cases, on this SF-30, the contractor is not going to sign that SF-30. So don't even expect him to sign it. Because if he was to sign that SF-30, he would essentially be admitting to basically doing insurrection against the country.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're not going to sign it.
Okay.
So basically just mark that box. Contractor not required to sign.
Okay. Okay. So now, even though they got it, I'm gonna personally take them back in, should I take them back in or mail the new set to them?
If need be, but basically, I'd send it and basically get the copy over to that prosecuting attorney.
Okay.
He's the broker in that court.
Yeah. Because he called me later on that afternoon and told me, he said, Ms. Thomas, if you just go get your license, he said, I'll make all these charges go away.
Yeah, but see, all you needed to do is say, you show me the law, the Republic law, that says I need to have a license.
Got it.
See, I'm terminating that contract.
Got
you
it.
guys haven't paid the damn bills for the damn contract anyway. So basically, I am invoking the laws of the Republic, and I am revoking this driver's license, this contract here, and I want full liquidation for that driver's license contract. See, that's what you got to do. You got to pick up the contract now.
Okay.
Get all the funds adjudicated back.
Okay.
Release the credits back to the treasury. Yes, that you borrowed. You've got to return the credits that you borrowed from the treasury. You have to allow the IRS to come in and basically take out the custom tariff taxes out of the performance bonds that are sitting there. And then basically they have to basically broker that account out and give you the just meat from that bowl contract.
Wow.
See, that's what I'm saying. You guys have to know a little more. You just don't try and rush into these things because in some cases you'll get yourself in bigger hot water in the process. And I've tried to explain this simply, like in modern day parables to you guys, to give you some additional protections. That's why you've got to sit down and you've got to work with other people and talk this over so that you get it in your mind's eye the right way.
Okay.
Okay?
So how can we form another group outside of what we're doing right now on the calls in order to get that done?
You basically find a relative or a son or a daughter and basically sit down with them and try and go over this with them. Say, hey, we were taught wrong. We need to get the right understanding about the banking system here. You're getting screwed, son or daughter. You're out here working for slave wages. How about getting over here into the just system and basically I can show you how to pay off your house. It's sitting right there. You have a mortgage. See? Bring your family in first if you can. If not, bring in a fellow neighbor or whatever. Somebody that you think might be interested in that they run into problems. Say, hey, basically that they're in bankruptcy or whatever, that they're in foreclosure. The tax man's after them. Say, hey, here's the answer. Let's sit down and work on this together.
Patrick, everybody is scared. They're not going to do that. They want to stay. I know a few of my family members, I tried to talk to them. They're talking about, oh, no, you're going to go to jail and all this stupid stuff. I said, well, you don't have enough guts to deal with me, so I'll just leave your ass alone. Because if you ain't got enough guts to deal with me, forget it then. I'll just have to, get with somebody who can.
If you get one thing done, like your utility bill paid, you've got something to show them.
Yes. Yeah.
Then you can expand it outward because they're all the same. All these contracts are the same scenario.
Okay.
See?
All right.
You start simple and then you build upon it.
Okay. I haven't liquidated my Social Security and all that other stuff, not yet. But I just want to work with these few little things, start off small, and then eventually I'll build myself up. enough to where I will go to the sheriff's office and liquidate
You don't need to go to the sheriff's office. We go right to the Secretary of the Treasury. Where did we borrow the credits from? The Treasury.
Not this year.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. We didn't borrow them from the state treasury. The state treasury has no credits to give. They can't transfer credits.
Okay.
So there's only one place that we can borrow the credits from, and that is from the National Republic Treasury. And then we can transfer them over to all of these state organizations.
Okay. Well, I'll have to work on that.
Partly what the Secret Service is involved with.
Okay. 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 Okay.
Yeah. You don't argue with the tax man. Basically, you basically say, hey, here, set this thing off. Here's my GSA SF forms.
Okay.
They're off. Take the taxes. I'm authorizing you to take the taxes from the debtor. The debtor is the one that owes these items, not you.
Correct.
And see, that's what's called out in Title 40 or Chapter 49. And it's also addressed in these SF forms.
Okay. So, Patrick, this is what I did, and I have recently received this information, so I'm waiting for them to also get back with me pertaining to this. I wrote to the Department of Treasury, the Internal Revenue Service in Washington, D.C., and I asked them about the FOIA that I requested. And so they sent me back a letter and told me that I had to establish my identity by submitting my signature and address and a copy of a driver's license or something with a copy of my signature on it. And they referred me to the Internal Revenue Service centralized processing unit here in the state of Georgia. And so they have 20 days, they're allowed 20 days to comply all the requested information that I requested. So I am waiting. They have till Thursday to present this information to me. So,
well, that's why I put up a copy of my badge and my law that says you have to give them identification.
Oh, okay.
There's no law that says you have to have a state driver's license. There's no republic law that says you have to have a state-issued identification.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, listen.
Your Bible. You operate under the laws of 13, under the biblical laws.
Okay.
Okay? And under the republic laws of this country. You have the power. You're the owner. Get that through your mind. It says, we the people in front of all these banking charters and all these constitutions are nothing but banking charters.
Okay. Well, they didn't specifically. They said you need also your signature address and one other identifier that has.
You make it up. You do it. You create it. You're the creator.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It says such. Yes, it says. They didn't say that, but they just said as example, such as a copy of your driver's license. But
that's right. They're trying to keep you in the commercial system. You want to operate in the republic.
Okay.
Okay. It's that simple.
Okay. Well, I already sent it to them. I didn't have any state driver's license. I just sent them a copy of an old ID, which is about to expire at the end of this month. So they have the one it's usable to right now. But okay, got it. So now I'm just waiting for that.
Your own identification. That's why I put those templates up there to show you how to do that. You put your picture on there. You put your information on there. And then basically you sign it and date it. You put your right and left index fingers on there.
Okay.
Those are your boundary markers. Okay? You are a hunk of land above the ground. Here is my boundary markers. Here is who I am. Who do you say I am now? I'm not the commercial debtor.
Right. Okay. Got it. Now I got it. So, Patrick, when I do get this, when they do compile this information and give it back to me, and I don't know who's been using whatever, but then after I get that information, then I can send them. What am I going to send them back to all these different companies?
You don't need to wait for any of that information back. You can start doing these SF30s, 14, 14, 14, 16, 14, 18, and start terminating these contracts.
Okay.
But you're probably going to have to do most of them through the Treasury Department. You've got to go to the temple.
Got it. So I'll be going. So Patrick, now if that's the case, I'll have to go to the department. The one in Washington, D.C., or not the one here in Georgia?
You would, if you've got state ones, you can take them right to basically the Attorney General's office for your state items, if you want to do that. Or basically you lump them all together and send them out to your Treasury in Washington, D.C.
Got it. I'm just going to send them there. I'm not going to fool with this stuff. I'm going to fool with the state right now. I'm just go straight to the Internal Revenue Service in Washington, D.C. All right, got it.
Anybody else got any questions?
Thank you so much.
Just God bless you, Patrick. This is Archbishop Brown.
Bishop Brown, you were supposed to contact me. You still got my information, my
I didn't have your phone number and my computer's down.
My email. I gave you my email.
I just told you my computer's down. You need a computer for email. You didn't give me a number. What's your number?
Oh, no, I don't want to give my number out.
Okay, then. You don't want to talk to me then.
Excuse me? I'm trying to help you. I'm getting
position heal thyself. That's all I'm saying. I understand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
God bless you. God bless us all.
Yes,
the way you handle that basically is go down to the store and buy a $10 or $20 cell phone and $30 or $35 or whatever, $25 card. Net 10 basically is about the cheapest one, and basically then put that number out, and then basically you can always throw that one away. Oh, you've only lost roughly about $20, $30, $40.
All right, hold on just a second, Bishop. Just a minute, let me write that down.
404.
Yes, sir.
547.
Yes, sir.
1680.
Okay,
stay safe.
I will, yes, sir.
You're welcome. Miss Thompson, right?
Miss Thomas, yes, sir.
Thomas, I'm sorry. Robbie Thomas.
Yes, sir.
Call me, please, tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I will, yes.
Yeah, see, so many people out here basically try and hide out here. Hey, why hide from these guys with unlisted or restricted numbers? Whatever.
I'm the sacrificial lamb. Take me.
Yeah, basically, hey.
Purple Heart, come back
on the phone, I'll throw it away. I've got other cards. I got other phones sitting here.
Amen. Purple Heart, come back wounded Vietnam. Adrian, I'm still here. 79.
I've got three new phones sitting here. Basically,
Amen.
If something comes up, basically, I can throw this one away, get pissed off that, throw it against the wall.
Hallelujah.
Hey, I'm done with that one.
Thank you, Patrick. Your name is Fish. You ain't nobody's mess.
No. Well, baby, I got that.
All you're trying to do is FES, F-E-S, Financial Economical Solution. That's what you're giving us. Thank you, Lord. I've been in this 40 years and still don't understand nothing.
Well, basically, that's the problem. Basically, everybody was looking at the wrong tree. We were sort of like a coon dog that was barking up the wrong tree, and the coon sitting about 4 trees away laughing his ass off at us.
All these gurus have broke me and my family, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
By the grace of God. Ain't going nowhere. We're a great republic. We the people.
I have a question about if you sponsored an immigrant to come into this country, and there's like a series of forms like an I-129F, and then there's an I-465, then there is like an I-864. There's just a series of, I guess, contracts. And you need to also discharge those to the UCC or the non-UCC filing with the SF30, the 1414 and all.
Yeah, if you were their sponsor or their guardian or whatever, yeah.
I did that.
Basically, I would do a non-UCC in the process and then basically turn around and liquidate those contracts.
All right, and so what would that have as an effect on, let's say, one of those, say that divorced from one of these immigrants, right? So I'm looking at an I-864 10-year support according to the contract there. But if I were to liquidate this, I would think something would happen on that side.
Well, it may. They may get deported.
That's right. I've been there, done that.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking. And so, look, I've sent off an initial package, but I don't think the form was correct because in the part where the estate EIN was supposed to go on the one with the Social Security, it just had estate EIN, the word. I don't think I put that in there, so it's probably incorrect. Do I need to refile those?
Well, I would file because basically they borrowed credits from your account for the jammed contract. So basically you send that in, that notification, you transfer those over as deeds if they've got, especially if they've got a 9-digit number. And all of these in the Babylonian banking system are operating under a 9-digit account number, customer or employee's account number. And then they've also got the individual EIN or number, 9-digit number under the Social Security. Yeah, they bring everybody into this country under the employees or the individual's number, so that they establish they've got that 9-digit number. Then basically everything else out from that goes out as an employee or a customer account number, and the contractor has his 9-digit DUNS number in the process. So now they've got their 3 6s or 3 9s basically operating in the dead world to turn them into 3 6s in the Babylonian banking system.
Okay, got it. So let me ask you this. This would be a whammy here. So I could take the marriage license contract, run it through the process along with all of the immigrant sponsoring forms that I file. Just liquidate every bit of it. And
yes, that would be one of the documents you turn in with your Social Security account with your certificate of live birth. You liquidate that because basically there was credits, and whether the other person had any credits in the process, you were sponsoring their credits if basically they were an immigrant coming into this country. So you sponsored basically the credits that were transferred for her if you got this under a state marriage license, and then you also transferred your credits.
All right, now let me ask you this, because we're going to take it a little further. There's an active divorce case going on right now. Can I send a copy of these forms to the judge?
Yes.
Praise God. Praise God.
Liquidate the marriage contract.
That's going to wreak all kind of havoc. That's going to wreak all kind of havoc.
Yes. And see, that's the same thing for all these people, especially these guys that are in jail for non-payment of child support.
Now, let me ask you
the
this.
marriage contract was to pay the bill.
That's right. Let me ask you this now. There's a case number. Like, I got a judgment against an opposing attorney for like $18,000, right? And so, how do I get that?
That is a solicitation number, that case number. If you look at the SF-30, it says solicitation or modification of the contract. All court cases, commercial court cases, are a solicitation, just like a traffic ticket. That cop is soliciting you to contract with them. So it's a solicitation, and it's addressed right in that SF-30.
All right, I'm going to take a crack at all this. Is there somebody on the call that I can run this by quickly, or just to review? Is it somebody with experience and kind of new?
Nobody really, because basically almost all of this stuff is new.
Okay.
That's why you've got to sit down and read the documents. It's all right there.
Okay.
When you look at them.
Okay.
And you have to know that all court cases are basically, they're soliciting you to contract with them.
Got it. Okay.
And basically, if you stand in the Republic, you can't contract with them because they can't contract with the living.
Hey, look, can I send a copy of these to the Department of Homeland Security and also to Customs Enforcement? Customs and Enforcement? Because if I put them all on notice, hey, look, I just liquidated the contract. These people are basically illegal aliens here, and you need to deport them.
You just let the customs agents in the Treasury Department take care of that, okay?
All right. I'll do that then. All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
He said, put him in jail.
Yeah. The Treasury Department is over the Customs Department out here. The customs agents are basically a function of the Treasury.
So, Patrick, I'm still waiting on my car. Have you got your black truck yet?
No. I'm not even worried about it, okay?
Yep.
I'm trying to get the real rest of this out now, okay?
Yeah.
Now that I see that all we have to do is transfer this out. I've already bought one car outright and have no license, never paid any sales tax on it, don't have any insurance on it. So basically, when I get out of the system, I can go and get another one the same way.
Wow. Okay. All righty.
But I will have the MSO, and basically I'll turn that into them and get reimbursed for that from that Ford Motor Company contractor performance bond.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Because, see, we're the owners of this country. Ford Motor Company is just a contractor. So we own that contract as soon as we get it, that certificate of title. We now own that contract. And all we have to do is put in the SF-30, the 14.
Contract to pay you back. Do they pay you back in credits or do they give you money?
We're going to turn it over to the Treasury. Let them do it. They're the public servants.
You ain't.
Okay, in Moses' time, okay, the people took their contracts to the priest outside the temple. The priest took them into the temple. The people didn't go into the temple.
Right.
Okay.
Wow. Another
we turn it over to the temple priest and let them take them in. And the chief temple priest is the secretary of the treasury in the republic banking system. He will basically restore from the contract the credits that are owed back to the treasury, canceling out that much national debt. And then they will take and cut away all the bad stuff, which is the custom tariff taxes under the tariff tax of 1913, October 13th, 1913, that's out there, and then give us all the residue back from that contract.
Wow. That is going to be pretty heavy. So, Patrick, I'm going to hopefully have a couple of, as long as I get just one more remedy, which tomorrow it should be that credit card situation. Once I get that back, then I'm going to just turn everything in to the Department of Treasury in Washington, the Internal Revenue Service.
Okay. The templates are up there.
I got it. Okay.
Okay.
Patrick? Else? Yes, Patrick, I have a question, please. There's a fine line between trying to come out of the system and file all of these forms, everything that we're doing to try to cancel and liquidate the different contract trusts. The other side of it is needing income or needing monies. Can we still do this and still, if, for example, if we're collecting unemployment, if we have a specific type of license, like I do, a gaming license, can we still operate and do those things while we're fighting?
Well, basically, they're not going to shut these things down overnight. Okay?
Oh, greetings. Hey, Shanita. I'm on.
Hello?
Correct. I'm still here. I don't know what's going on. I'm still here.
Okay. Yeah, basically, don't worry about it. And basically, they've got 3 days. That's the law in the Bible. 3 days, death and resurrection. As soon as you kill your debtors, they have 3 days to resurrect you back into the living world, to bring your debtor back home to you after they have received these.
Okay.
See, nobody knows this out here because nobody has done this properly.
Right.
And if they have done it properly, they ain't speaking.
Well, I did submit the forms, the ones you had from, there's probably weeks and weeks ago. And so I was going to resubmit with the new information that you gave. The problem is that I've already, through some other processes, I've given them the birth certificate. I sent the original, and I realized later I probably should not have sent the original. I sent one to the state. I sent one to the
You never sent an original. You sent a certified copy of a banking instrument.
I just learned that just recently, so now I've got to get another birth certificate to send this in. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anybody else?
Patrick, do you have a copy of a good cover letter up on the web?
Yes, it's up there.
Okay.
Just had Tom post that, and I posted it on the We the People today. Okay?
Yeah, I posted it on the Skype group and also on the backup.
Go back, how are you going, what is the procedure to go through to get it to the uppercase, lowercase?
You don't.
Okay.
That is a debtor. And you're terminating him per your transfer deed. He's the guy that's on the transfer deed. He's the grantor. He is granting those items back to you as the guarantor in the republic system. Now you're going to transfer those as the guarantor over to and turn your debtors, your fictional debtors, over to the treasury, just the way it calls out in Chapter 49. Read the document. It's right there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hey, Patrick, is there any special number that you need for the estate? Does it need to be a 98 or just any number will work for the EIN on
If
the
they
estate?
gave you an estate EIN for your Social Security account, no. That's it. You basically declared your Social Security person a dead entity, and basically now you've got it now covered under an estate EIN. But you need to terminate that contract, that Social Security contract. Then under your estate EIN, you will be able to later on process your entitlements from the Federal Reserve Bank out here. That estate EIN right now is sitting in a state of limbo. Okay? Just keep them in reserve, okay?
Got it.
Because when we turn around and do this, there's not going to be 3 9s. It'll just be a 9 by itself. And see, the Babylonian banking system can't operate with just 1 9. Okay, anybody else?
Yes, if I could, just a quick question. Is it possible to send you or to contact you directly, or to send a question to you directly, or even further to have a brief one-on-one consultation with you?
I think basically if you listen to the calls, you read the documents that I have there, you should have more than enough information in the process.
Yes, everything that I've heard so far has been very helpful.
And that's why I say, basically, it's best if you get into the group, the We the People group or something, and post your questions to the group, or get onto the Skype group and basically ask them. You guys start working together. I've tried to give you all the guidance that I can.
Praise God, Pat.
Okay?
Yes, I did, and the people did respond, and they were very helpful. They were asking me to be more specific with my inquiry.
Take your time and read the instructions, okay? You'll be surprised, okay? You graduated from high school, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Enough said. You ain't a fucking dummy. Okay?
Yeah. I do sincerely appreciate your
You're not like
help.
these Babylonian bankers and these bar attorneys. They're the fucking dummies.
Yeah, I think it's amazing how we can hold everything that they think they know, we can hold it in the palm of our hand in a book that they think is...
Yeah, they don't know. Basically, like one bankruptcy judge. Basically, he was going through and this one judge was going through and foreclosing on a bunch of houses. And then all of a sudden, basically, he got in the process, and they were going to foreclose on his house. And he didn't know how to get out of the damn system. See, that's how fucking dumb these damn guys are. Yeah, they get a big salary and everything. They don't even know where the damn money's coming from.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they're out here screwing their neighbors over. And then they go to the fucking church and sit in the fucking front pew, just like what Jesus talked about the damn high and mighty coming in, and basically the guy that really got redemption was the guy that came in and sat in the very last pew and basically thought about what he was doing and basically asked for forgiveness. He was the one that was forgiven. The other guy wasn't.
No.
Absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah, these guys ain't that fucking smart. I mean, hell, take a look at the damn past presidents we've had. How many fucking dummies have we had in the damn White House? I mean, hell, a damn monkey could have handled their damn job.
Yes. Clowns. It's become a big circus.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Patrick. I appreciate everything.
Yes,
okay.
Thank you.
Good night.
Well, let's call tonight then. Okay.
Tom,
you guys
I'll call you tomorrow, my friend.
Okay.
Tom,
thank you, Tom.
I'll call you tomorrow.
Okay. All right.
God bless you, Patrick. I'm praying for you. I keep in my prayers. Constant.